2004 brought into limelight the new pension scheme in Nigeria, which is defined contributory scheme, unlike the old scheme, which was largely defined benefit. The issue of pension has received more attention in many countries over the past decades. In fact, in the recent times, pension has increasingly attracted the attention of policymakers in many countries as a means of facilitating privately funded retirement. In 2004, the failure of governments to meet the pension expectation of retirees has charted the plans of many, as well as inducing economic trauma, which in some cases have led to fatality. The acts cover both public and private sector employees. The contributory pension scheme was introduced to replace the defined benefit scheme. Under the new regime, both the government and the companies and the worker themselves are to save up to amount of their own earnings towards building up an accumulated fund reserve which they could fall back to after retirement. Welcome to Business Point, where we extract the Nigerian economy and the government policies. I am your host, Kike Lomo Okeri. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business Point on Global Television. We are on Star Time Channel 276 in the nation's capital. Today we will be discussing Nigerian pension reform, necessity of credibility and transparency. And joining me via Zoom is Executive Director, Pension Operators in Nigeria, Oguche Aguda. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning, Kike.
Good morning, sir.
Great.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Policy introduced by the Pension Commission allow people to use their retirement savings account, that is the RSA. But people have the opinion that it is too small. So what is your own take on this, sir?
Are you talking about for mortgages or
Yes,
for
for
owning
mortgages.
homes?
I'm talking about for mortgages.
Yeah. So I think anywhere in the world, owning a home is a big deal that people should plan for, right? So you can determine how much 25% of your RSA will be. So the policy is that you can use 25% of the money that has been saved in your pensions account as a down payment for a mortgage in order to own your own home. And what people need to do is to begin to plan towards it, save towards it. So it's something you save for. Whether you buy a house through a mortgage or you buy it upfront, home ownership is one big decision any individual will make. So we encourage people to save towards it. You can start by increasing the amount of voluntary contributions you give. You can also work with your spouse if you're married, because it's also available as a joint platform. So what I would say is that I don't think it's too small. I think people should save towards it and work towards it. It's one of the ways that people can own their homes. Not the only way, but it's one way the industry believes that people can take advantage to own their own home. So that's my response to when people say it's too small.
New pension scheme.
Yeah, Kike, can you take that again?
The economic effect of the new pension scheme.
So the economic effect is multifaceted. I think number one is that it enables people to have some benefits when they are old. So in every economy, when people grow old, they now become a drain on society. But because of this pension scheme, we're able to reduce the number of people that are dependent when they are old. I think that's one. Two is that, because of the consistent savings and because of the structure of the funded scheme, it has built up a lot of institutional capital, which can be used to invest in various sectors of the economy. And pension funds in Nigeria are investing in various sectors of the economy. And also, they are one of the key investors, if not the key investor, in terms of government debts. So that is one of the few things that the pension system is doing to sort of help the economy.
Okay, sir, what are the challenges of this new pension scheme in Nigeria? What are the challenges that we are likely to face?
Yeah, so a couple of challenges. Number one, I think, is the states government. So we've only got 6 states out of 36 states in Nigeria that are on the scheme. So we would like to see more states because that means that more Nigerians are able to enjoy their retirement. We'd like to see more commitment from states. Um, so another challenge is just education. Financial literacy is something we're working on. People need to understand how the pension scheme is, understand that they can save for their retirement, understand that they can begin to put some money away, and just understand the dynamics of the scheme. So that's one challenge which we are working on. Um, yeah, so I'll stop with those two. And if there's time, I'll give more challenges.
Okay. And this one is about PENOP. What is PENOP doing about the mortgage financing for the RSA?
Yeah, so as you know, PENOP's role is really to coordinate activities within the pension industry. So some of the things we're doing is publicity. We're letting Nigerians know that it's possible, it's available. We're working with the industry to find out how we can be easier, working with the mortgage banks and the ecosystem to make the whole system easier so people can access mortgages through their RSA. We're getting feedback from the markets and we're trying to make it a whole lot better and easier. So we're bringing the markets together, we're bringing players together, and we're also publicizing the fact that this is possible. People can own their homes through this means.
Okay. How do you think the contributory pension fund can be strengthened in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think commitment from the top of government, meaning commitment to meeting the obligations. Government has done fairly well in terms of deducting the portion from federal government workers and also the government portion. What I think the government needs to do in order to strengthen is to ensure that those who have retiring recently and who are on their accrued rights, they get their payments as and when due. So that's one area. I spoke about the states also. I also spoke about compliance, even from the private sector. Private sector employers need to realize that complying with this is in their best interest and the interest of their staff. So these things that are done, I think, will help to build and strengthen this CPS.
Okay. Okay, what happens if pension fund assets, that is the PFA, fails or liquidated? What are the things that we're expected to see? What happens to the funds?
Um, so, so as you know, when the pensions are deducted and in the management of the pension fund administrators. The pension fund administrators, the PFAs, they now determine how they invest that money. And the investments are in different areas. So the pension funds could be invested in government security, they're investing in corporate debt, investing in the equity markets, investing in the money markets, investing in infrastructure. And pension funds have been doing this over time. So they have various asset classes in which they invest, even in infrastructure, manufacturing sector through some of the corporate that they invest in. So there's a lot that the assets of the pension funds have been used for over the years, and it will continue to be so.
Over the years, Nigerians have not been really sensitized about this pension fund. Could you please enlighten the public what the PENOP do to ensure that their fund is not missing, is not being taken by any other person? Hello, are you there?
I think the Act and regulator have done a good job. So if you have a pensions account, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I, okay, I said I think the regulator has been doing a good job over the years. If you have a pensions account, you probably will get a text message every month saying X amount has been credited to your RSA and this is your balance. So that's one. Every quarter, you get a statement that shows how much is in your account. So you can see for yourself where how much is in your account, how it's been invested. And most of the pension funds, if not all, have various apps that people can log in and check or log in through their website. So I think the first thing is transparency. People are sure that their money is safe and this is in their account. That's number one. And I think with the way the system is, when the pension funds want to invest, how they invest. So this helps ensuring that there are decent returns on the other hand.
Okay, how seamless can we say the pension process is today in Nigeria?
It's fairly seamless from the point of you working in an organization, you choosing your own PFA because individuals have the right to choose their own PFA. And once you do that, you advise your organization, your HR, and every month they deduct compulsorily, it's in the act, they deduct 8% of your salary and the employer now gets 10%. And that goes to your PFC, who would advise the PFA. And once that happens, your accounts will be credited and you get a text message. So that's how seamless it is, and that's how it should be. There may be one or two hiccups here and there, but essentially you work in an organization, you choose your PFA, you advise your HR. Every month they make deductions, send it to your PFC, who advises your PFA, and through that you get an alert in your account. You see that, and then it's invested, and it happens every month and month again. It's been seamless, consistent, and it has helped in the growth of the industry and the growth in the assets that the industry manages.
Okay, most players have come into pension space in the last few years. In what practical ways has the impacted pension reform in Nigeria?
So I won't say most players. You can say a number of new players have come in, and most of the players have been there actually since inception. There have been a number of new players, mostly the banks. We've seen a couple of banking institutions who have entered the pension space, and we think it's positive for the industry because the banks in Nigeria have grown over the years. They've engaged in M&A, they've engaged in various turns, economic turns, and they are able to also bring that knowledge and expertise in the pension sector, and we think it's positive. In addition, the level of foreign investments or local investment, direct investment that are coming to the sector is also strong. So that's positive for the economy as a whole. So we think it's good. And those banks will come with their technology, their service, and also competition to help the industry to outdo itself. So we think it's positive.
Okay, so we've seen many cases of unethical practice, and in some cases, outright misappropriation of fund has always been a major concern. Does this not deplete the confidence of Nigerians?
Can you give me instances of the misappropriation of funds? I'm not aware of that within the CPS.
Like in some cases, some people might save their money for a couple of time, and at the same time they are trying to access their phone, they are unable to access the phone, they are finding it difficult to access the phone when it is actually needed?
So I think, I'll go back to education. So you don't access the funds when you need it because it's a pension. You access the funds when you are eligible to access it, whether you've lost your job, whether you retire, or in the unfortunate event of you pass away, your beneficiary accepts the fund. So those are the sort of time when the pension can be accessed. And many people have accessed it. We've shown statistics of number of Nigerians who have accessed it, more than up to 500,000 Nigerians who have accessed when they lost their jobs, or payments made to beneficiaries of who have died or retirees. So the narrative that people don't access it when they need it, I don't think it's correct, right? There might be one or two instances where people have retired and they haven't gotten their funds immediately. That has to do with verification. So because the industry wants to make sure that we are paying who it is. So there's Kikelomo, right? There have been cases of potential fraud also with Nigerians coming to identity theft and to say they are who they are not. So the industry is very careful, right? What we would rather do is we'll rather ensure that no one is paid who is not meant to be paid. So that might be one or two issues that will cause delays. But by and large, people are accessing the funds when they are meant to. So perhaps there's a lack of education when people want to access it when they need it, quote unquote. It's not there for when you need it. It's when you've lost your job. We've had thousands of Nigerians who have accessed it. When you retire, again, we have hundreds of thousands of Nigerians who are accessing the fund. So I guess when there will be issues is when you're not meant to access it and when there is a potential case of identity theft or identity fraud, which the industry tries to limit. And we're working on that through data recapture, through verification. And hopefully, once we're able to get a clean database for Nigeria and the industry as a whole, these issues of delay because of identity will reduce.
Break now. Please don't go away. Stay with us. We are still speaking with the Executive Director of Pension Operators in Nigeria, Oguche Aguda. Please stay with us.
The central bank has assured that it is addressing the problem of cash scarcity in some parts of the country. In a statement signed by the Director Corporate Communication, CBN, CD Hakama attributed the reported cases of cash scarcity in some major cities across the country to a hoarding of banknotes by some persons it didn't identify. She says the Apex is monitoring the situation and have released sufficient cash to its branches across the country for onward distribution to deposit money banks. Giving further clarification on the cases of hoarding, she explained that currency in circulation as of February 2023 was 1 trillion naira. While the figure has risen over 3.4 trillion naira as at 2 days ago, this, according to her, indicated that there is sufficient cash supply from CBN. The Nigeria Customs Service has revealed plans to embark on a radiological and nuclear detection program. The National Public Relations Officer of the service, Abdullahi Maiwada, said that the move was aimed at fortifying the country's security against the smuggling of nuclear materials. Maiwada said that the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, announced the strategic initiative during the inauguration of a 4-day capacity-building workshop organized by the World Customs Organization at the Nigeria Customs Command and Staff College in Abuja. Investors' repositioning of New Year-end Yuletide rally persisted at the close of transactions as investors' wealth appreciated by 415 billion naira in 3 trading days. Precisely, the market capitalization of listed equities, which closed at 39,148 trillion naira last week Friday, appreciated by 415 billion naira or 1.0% to 39,563 trillion naira yesterday. Also, the All-Share Index, which measures the performance of quoted companies, rose by 758.05 points from 7,054.74 to 72,299.79. The federal government has unveiled plans to set up the nation's inaugural bamboo processing factory in Karara, Kogi State. The facility aims to amplify the production of various bamboo-based commodities, including toothpicks and other related products. During the commemoration of 2023 World Bamboo Day in Abuja, Balarabe Lawal, the Minister of Environment, highlighted the government's intention to establish improved seedling nurseries crucial for sustaining the bamboo processing project. Advocating for the active participation of stakeholders across the bamboo value chain, the minister emphasized the significance of cultivating bamboo for Nigeria's development.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business Point on Global Television. We are on Star Time, channel 276. We've been speaking with the Executive Director, Pension Operators in Nigeria. And we'll be speaking on the topic, Nigerian Pension Reform, Necessity of Credibility and Transparency. Hello, Oguche, are you still there? Welcome back, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. How can we curb the problem facing the pension in Nigeria?
So I guess it depends on the problem. So do you have any specific problem we are talking about?
As in some practice, as of today, that contributors can obtain loan against their pension saving.
Yeah, so that is that is not something the pension fund administrators are able to do, right? Loans against pension. That is not something the administrators are able to do. So some banks might be able to do that, but the PFAs are not able to do that. But I'll just go to your initial question of challenges. I think the challenges, in Nigeria with the pension funds have to do with compliance on one hand. And what we are doing, we're encouraging private companies to comply because of the benefits of their companies and their staff. If they don't comply, if they want to either access a loan, if they want to access the capital markets, if they want to bid with government contracts, they won't be able to bid government contracts. We're also encouraging state governments to comply because if they want to tap the bond market, they won't be able to do that. So these are things that we're trying to do to ensure that more people embrace the CPS. It's been great, but more people need to embrace it.
Oh, but do you think will the inflation and devaluation of Naira, does it affect the pension contribution, the value of the pension contribution?
Yes, it does to an extent. It's not just pension; it affects everything. It affects the whole economy. It affects the purchasing power of individuals who are even working. Not talk of pensioners. But what the pension industry has been trying to do is to see how we can invest more profitably for the benefit of the RSA holders. So looking at other forms of investments, higher return investments, and also looking at investing offshore so that we can help to guard against the effect of devaluation on the pension funds.
Okay. Does the Pension Reform Act reflect the application principle of transparency and accountability?
Yes, it does. I mean, you'll see from the act that so there are demarcations for the PFAs, the PFCs. So they do different things. The PFCs are the ones that have custody of the funds, even though the PFAs manage it. They don't have custody. So there's segregation of duties. That's it. Inbuilt checks and balances. In addition, in order for you to have a PFA or a PFC, you have to go through a rigorous process of licensing, and there also has to be capital-based, minimum capital-based. So, and the directors of those pension funds have to go through a fit and proper process. So we ensure that it's the right people, right characters that own pension funds and are able to manage assets on behalf of Nigerians. So there's really inbuilt transparency in the acts that transcends into the industry.
Okay, what do you think PENOP can do to build the the society confidence, as in making contributing towards retirement more attractive?
Yeah, I think, it's probably just to showcase the success stories, and there have been many success stories um, about millions of people who are on the scheme, hundreds of thousands of people who are receiving their pension. So I guess it's just to showcase that story because there's a lot of people who are benefiting, who have been contributing, and who are benefiting. So for us, is to showcase that story, working with people like you in the media to let more Nigerians know that it's credible, it works, and it's benefiting a whole number of Nigerians.
Okay, so what is the guarantee that the pension fund under the new scheme will be properly managed and not be diverted for other purposes?
I think the industry has shown over the last 19 years that it's stable, it's transparent, and it's accountable. So over the last 19 years, we haven't seen diversions, we haven't seen what used to happen in the defined benefit scheme or what is happening in some schemes within Nigeria right now, whether with the states or some other agencies. But the system is private sector managed, right? With the
All right, it's like we've lost him. Thank you so much, Oguche, for your contribution. We really appreciate. Moving on a quick look at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index continued its upward trend with an increase of 156.04 points, reaching a new record high of 72,455.83, reflecting the positive mood of the investors. The market capitalization increased by 85 billion naira and ended at 39.649 trillion naira. The main contributors to the market rise were the top-tier banks, with Access Corp, Zenith Bank, and UBA gaining 3.40%, 1.92%, and 2.50% respectively. The market turnover rose to 7.255 billion naira compared to 8.07 billion naira. Similarly, the trading volume increased to 446.58 million units today, up from 433.18 million units. And on the Naira, the intraday high recorded 1,185 Naira to a dollar, as the Naira gained marginal against the dollar at the official market, but closed flat at the black market. The domestic currency appreciated 0.360% to close at 901 Naira to a dollar at the close of business. This is data from NAFEM, where the Forex is officially traded. This is where we draw the curtain on Business Point today. Join us same time on this same station. I am your host, Kike Lomo Okeri. Thanks for staying with us.